It's gonna be May. Hello, welcome to the Watching Walford podcast. I'm opening this. I don't know why I'm opening this. It's gonna be May. Get excited. Summer is finally here nearly. Stacey got her bachelor's out this month. Reese has a wife. Reese is going to be doing something brilliant in either next week or the week after. And I'm going to throw this over to my broadcast partner, Ash, who is seething in the corner there because I'm doing the intro.
No, it's fine by me. You made a good job of it. Made a good job of it. Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 17 of Watching Walford, the most hawk-eyed and detailed EastEnders podcast, where we review all of the episodes every single week. Likewise, welcome back to the Watching Walford channel, which is more than just one podcast, as we aim to make documentaries on characters, retell stories from yesteryears, and maybe delve into some of the story arcs of the show's past. As Piggy suggested, I'm Ash, and he's Piggy. Or they are Piggy.
Hello.
How's it going? How was the week, Piggy?
It's been a fun week. It's been a fun week. If I can sidetrack this a little bit, yesterday me and Ferg were recording the Pigs and Fergs podcast. We were recording Turning Point 2005, I believe. And since it was the year 2005, I brought up the Dirty Den scandal back in 2004. And you know the photograph where he has his finger in his mouth?
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, there's a promo Monty Brown cut on the show, and I probably showed you, but he has a Bob the Builder plushie, and basically I wanted to Photoshop Dirty Denon's way with his finger in his mouth, but I wasn't allowed, so I kind of awkwardly did this.
Yeah, I see.
For when I sent Ferg the article, and all you hear on his end is, "Oh God." Then we got talking about horny JR. It was brilliant. So now he knows about Leslie Grantham masturbating as Captain Hook.
Yeah, he was as Captain Hook, wasn't
he? That's what amazes me. He was Captain Hook having a tug.
I mean, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. Whether you're Captain Hook or you're Leslie Grantham.
Also, didn't he call like the Sam Mitchell actor a wooden piece of board that couldn't act?
Yeah, she was. He was pretty disparaging towards some of the cast members. He didn't like some of them. Didn't like a lot of them, really.
Yeah, well, I guess it's because you think you're the shit, and then you're not really the shit anymore.
I mean, to be fair, he got treated with a lot of respect. I suppose if you do want to hear any more about the Leslie Grantham story, go over to Soap Study, who did a very good documentary on.
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, it's a banger, isn't it?
It is. I learned a lot about Leslie Grantham, so fuck him. He can die, even though he is dead. He was not a nice man.
No, he was questionable at most times. But yeah, go over to Soap Study. Like I said, also did a video on the 2008 Christmas, where, like, you know, the bomb is under the table, and we all know the bomb's under the table, but it wasn't a bomb. It was a DVD containing the proof of Stacey and Max's affair on Christmas Day under the tree, and it was a really good video just expressing that and whatever else they do, because they did one on Julie Goodyear, the actress who most known for playing Bette Lynch on Coronation Street. How her 2-week run when she came back in 2003 was actually supposed to be much longer, but, well, it didn't really go as planned. So yeah, go ahead and watch that. Big love to Soap Study.
Yeah, big love. My week's been fine. I don't know if she wants me to talk about it, but I might be spending Christmas with my mom figure. So
nice.
She recently subscribed to this channel. She said that you had a lovely voice and you look very cute. So
am I on the channel?
On this channel.
Yeah. Ooh.
So you might have a crush on your hands.
Well, good luck. I'm
so
notoriously undesirable.
So that's going to be a very interesting Christmas day if I'm over there. Just me sat there watching the EastEnders special, see who dies, while they all look at me like, what the fuck are you watching? Why are you watching this? And I'll just respond, I am an influencer. I influence things. People watch me and I watch them.
Indeed. Big watcher. Anything else?
No, everything's been alright. I got my TNA Marvel job figures that I wanted to get. And I recently picked up some customs that I will be paying in installments, so it's all good. I get
Nice.
Das Wunderkid. Or Das
Oh.
Wunderkind.
Oh.
Do you know who Das Wunderkid is?
Is that Alex, right?
It is Alex Wright.
Yeah.
Das Wunderkid.
Wild.
If you want to
That is-
check out Alex Wright, go subscribe to Wrestling Bios. He does a complete arc of Alex Wright. He was a German wrestler who was pretty good.
He did a weird dance where he just thrusted. That was fun. That's what I remember.
That's what I wanted Danny Dyer to do on the square.
That dance is it reminded me of like emo Peter Parker when he's walking down the street. You know,
I love emo Peter Parker.
he is something else.
You want forgiveness? Yeah, religion.
Yeah.
What was the other one? What was the other one? I'm gonna throw some dirt in your eyes.
He is a little rat, isn't he?
Tango this. Or when he punches. No, he doesn't punch Mary Jane. He shoves her, doesn't he?
I've forgotten
been-
most of Spider-Man 3.
Oh, I love Spider-Man 3. Even though people don't like it, I love it because it's just Tobey Maguire being a dick. And I
Yeah,
love it.
does have a lot of
Well,
fun
he
with
wasn't. It's a debate whether Tobey was the best. It just depends on your childhood. Who you grew up with is your Spider-Man, essentially. How I look at it. So Tobey's mine. I don't know who yours is.
I mean, I enjoyed Toby, but I don't know, for some reason I just had this weird, like, sort of really disliked him for some reason. Just didn't like his face. So, Andrew Garfield's my token Spider-Man, as his movies were criminally underrated and underloved.
You wanted to do a Vince McMahon and put a blue dot over Toby's face.
No, I just... Or he also completely stole, completely took all the shine off of the other Spider-Men in the, one where they all come back.
No Way Home.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely
you
stole
have
that movie for me. He absolutely nailed it.
who, Andrew or Toby?
Andrew. I mean, Toby was decent, but like, there was just a lot more. There was a lot more going on for me. For my boy.
It's probably one of my favorite movies, just because like you're a child again watching your favorite actors reunite.
I mean, a lot of things struggle with like putting way too much like fan service in, but it was just the right amount that you went, oh, it's that, oh, it's this, oh, having a spaff.
And my favorite film was in it because Willem Dafoe is my favorite, like villain. And SH figure arts are coming out, and I don't know whether to pre-order this, but let me just Google it. I don't know. Please have a photo of it here. I'll have. Is there a photo? No, I don't think there's a photo. SH figure arts are coming out with a Green Goblin,
Nice.
and it looks so cool. I think this is it. I'll show you. Don't know if this is the right one, but I will show you.
Look. Oh, yeah, that does actually look really good. Holy shit. Fair play.
Because people have to check out Willem Dafoe's acting career. He is a great actor.
He's wild.
Like I haven't been scared of a villain in my life, but when he was in No Way Home, I was shitting a brick. No, because like when you're in the cinema and you're listening to the sounds, his voice is so scary with surround sound.
I actually, it's not just like really like gravelly.
Yeah, it's really gravelly. It's just like the way he comes across. Like when he says, "Can the Spider-Man come out to play?" Oh, I was shitting a brick like because of all the sound effects and everything. I was like, Jesus, this is amazing.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you have to check No Way Home or check Spider-Man 1, the Tobey Maguire one, or check No Way Home to see Green Goblin. He is absolutely amazing. Willem Dafoe is my favorite. There was a one scene from the Tobey Maguire series that we always joked about in school. So there's a one scene in Spider-Man 1, I don't know if you remember it, where Green Goblin says to Tobey Spider-Man, "Are you in? Or are you out, Spider-Man?" Toby Spider-Man responds, "You're the one who's out, Cobby." And that we always mention that in school because of the way he says it.
I mean,
But
like,
yeah,
can't specifically remember that, but it sounds like something that definitely happened.
so yeah, go check out Spider-Man No Way Home. It should be on a streaming platform. I don't know if it is,
Probably is.
but you can legally find it online. Wink, wink.
One thing can I moan about? They fucking
Mm-hmm.
mate. Honestly, the EastEnders fandom can suck a dick. You wanna know why? Because
Why?
everybody was going like, "Oh yeah, lads, Brookside episodes. That's where you can find all of the EastEnders you can ever want." It's down now. It's fucking down because everybody went, "Oh yeah, you want this fucking you want these free drugs? You want these free drugs that I've stolen from this place?" No, shut the fuck up. This is why we get them nice things. Like, it's gone now. How else are we supposed to watch all EastEnders?
Was that the one you sent me where it has everything from 1985 to?
It has every single episode of EastEnders on there. But yeah, this is why we can't have good things. Because people don't shut the fuck up about it. DM people the website, for fuck's sake. Yeah, like I said, I was going to go back and watch some of the classic EastEnders because I wanted to re-look over some of the video ideas I had. But lo and behold, I can't fucking find it anymore because everybody wouldn't shut the fuck up. Yeah, it's my Angie section. The other angry section will come when we discuss any Ben Mitchell scenes of this week.
I mean, you for 90%. I just stand there and play Just Dance on the Wii.
Very true. All right, do we have anything else before we get into the week?
If I can rant about Twitter, Twitter is run by Elon Musk now, who is very transphobic, and he's basically allowing for people to say whatever the fuck they want on Twitter. So, some UFC fighter said, "Can we basically execute the people who stand for trans rights?"
Jesus.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. And
Just
someone responded, "Can we give them armbands to identify who they are?" And I'm like, that sounds awfully familiar to 1930s Germany.
all right. That's not good for the whole way. Does sound
And
very
then
very similar, but
someone said, "Can we put them all in a concentration camp?" And I was like, lads,
hey.
lads,
Well,
Jesus
why
Christ.
does it fucking matter to you? Why is it like to the people who hit him? Why is it so important? Like, fuck me. To be fair, it's like one of the I think it's I don't know if it's old Diane Abbott. I don't remember who she is, but she's a politician of some sort. Just came out with a claim that Jewish people never have to deal with racism, and it's like, I don't know about that.
There was an entire war about them.
How much genocide have you faced, Diane Abbott? Like, holy come on. Read the fucking room. Yeah, there we are. Shall we get into this week's episode?
America's been a shitstorm, but I can't really mention anything here because we want the Watching Walford channel to be in the middle, even though we're probably not in the middle in politicals. and we don't know what we're talking about. We just want equal rights for everyone. Well, I want equal rights for everyone. I assume Ash wants equal rights for everyone.
Yeah. Just want people to be happy. All right. So with
we can't be happy.
with all that aside, it's time to start the show. It's time to review week 17 of 2023. All of these episodes, all of these episodes going from the 24th of the 4th, 2024 to the 27th of the 4th, 2024. We kickstart the week with Callum talking to Ben. He's asking why he's pushing for boxing so much, but Ben says he's not doing it for his dad, he's doing it for himself. He then gets a call from an unknown number, but ignores it. Once again, Ben Mitchell, stop being so fucking rude, please, thank you. He's just asking you why you aren't answering your phone. Just trying to feed you.
Yeah.
At Sharon's house, we see that Martin has been training for his match against Ben Mitchell. He jokes that being able to batter Ben Mitchell and 500 quid, why didn't he do it sooner? And Zach also feels like a weight's been lifted off his shoulders for telling them. And Sharon and Zach start imagining a future with Whitney. Yeah, he hasn't properly thought it out yet. He's just kind of dreaming like, yeah, we'll just be able to move on like nothing's happened. And it's like, yeah, homie. Baby Peach says otherwise.
Peaches, peaches, peaches. Oh, I love you, peaches.
At the Branning house, we see that Jack is struggling in the aftermath of the affair. Amy wants him to talk to Denise, but Jack is to her, and Amy is feeling terrible about it. And Freddie is working with Harvey, trying to get him focused for his match against Mitch. Mitch says, I don't want to hurt my mate, but kind of Phil arrives and is really hyped up to see Ben win this time. He's gonna win. Somehow. Meanwhile, we see Bernie and Karen, and they've just been to Roland's christening. Keanu says him and Sharon should catch up, but Karen isn't interested, as Bernie says, just give it time. And Denzel asks Amy how she's doing, as they both realise how much Denise and Jack are struggling, despite them being the ones who are like, you should always talk about things, you should be open. Cheeky bit of dumb EastEnders humour. Adults are stupid.
Exactly.
Denzel wanted to lighten the mood, but Amy is still kind of in her own head, struggling a lot. And in the cafe, as Whitney's proud of Zach because he finally told his family. However, when Zach says it's time to move on, Whitney's just kind of like, and just kind of leaves. She is not very excited for the future. And we also see that a detective walks in and he tells Ben that Lewis has been charged and arrested with rape. We don't really see the reaction, but it's Ben Mitchell, so he's not really going to react very well. Nor would anyone in this situation, because I feel like there's still a bit of remorse because you still had to go through that. And meanwhile, we see Keanu talk to Sharon about Albie's christening, and Keanu says he'll pay for it. And Sharon's like, yeah, let's do it. Let's have it be a proper family thing. The joke is, Keanu's fucking skint. He's not got a penny to rub. He's not got 2 pennies to rub together. He's absolutely, like, you know, he's ruined. I don't know how he's not, like, I don't know how he's skint. Been doing crime stuff for the last couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. He should have money.
Yeah.
The little bitch.
Yeah, do something like Keanu. And Nugget is mad at Ravi because he hasn't signed a school trip form. Nugget is still reasonably angry because, you know, Ravi's caused so much shit for him. He's just trying to live, but Ravi's like, well, how about I have an affair, and I batter the policeman, and I'm a criminal? Sound. Cheers, Dad. Appreciate it. And Zach talks to Ravi, and they talk about Chelsea, and Ravi's like, hey, it was the best thing I've had in ages. And Zach's like, go on, you do it, mate. You carry on. You prove it. Still doesn't change the fact that you used her, but it's also been a month, so grow up. You're not teenagers anymore.
Exactly.
And back at the cafe, we see Ben talk to the detective about what happened. Detective says, hey, give me a call, we'll talk about it if you need. And Kathy inquires, but he storms out without telling her, and Lola pesters him that he's fighting again. Ben's like, I will not cancel this. And Whitney's trying to talk Chelsea around, but she's still upset at having to see Denise and Ravi around the square. Zach tries to convince her otherwise, and then drops the news that Ravi... oh yeah, great news. Didn't consult you first. Ravi's given us some money to start looking for a flat. And Whitney's just kind of like, really, mate? Already? Are you trying to put this in the past? Like, didn't ask her at all.
Mm-hmm.
And at the therapist's office, we see that Amy has been struggling, feeling like everything is her fault. She has set up for Jack and Denise to meet up. Jack is unhappy, but Denise stays for Amy's sake. And Whitney likewise feels like Zach is rushing into things by getting a flat, but Whitney says that she isn't ready for a flat. She isn't ready to move on from baby Peach. They disagree, and Whitney just... She says she's terrified of getting pregnant because, like, it might happen again. And the conversation ends saying that she needs some space. Can I get a ding ding?
Ding ding.
There we At the boxing event, we see Ben preparing for his match with Martin. Callum arrives and opens a can of worms in front of Kathy, who mentions that Lewis has been arrested and charged with another rape. Ben ignores it like it doesn't matter, but Kathy and Callum are upset. Are you ready? Are you ready for some boxing, Piggy?
I am. Lay it on me. It's just going to be like Austin versus Rock.
Alright, so the first match is Harvey and Mitch. They all start going. Mitch is talking smack, he's in the ring, he's feeling good, and Harvey's like talking to Gene, like firing up. But as he gets into the ring, he hurts his back, and Mitch wins by technicality. Woo! What a match!
I love that. Screw your Tysons versus Mayweathers. Screw your, I don't know, McGregor's versus Mayweathers. We have a real boxing match on our hands.
Indeed. But yeah, and then Phil kind of uses this saying, and this is what happens when you don't train. Sound, cheers, Phil. Making it all about yourself. But Phil introduces the main event. Martin Fowler versus Ben Mitchell. So they stare down. And, hey, do you know much of the history between Ben and Martin?
No.
Okay, so back when Ben was a kid, Martin genuinely like held him over the side of a bridge. I don't remember why. And then back in 2019, when Martin was going through his bad boy phase, which I enjoyed because I like Martin, Martin turned bad because Ben spent the bulk of the year blackmailing him, and then Martin decided, mate, you're Ben Mitchell, you're shit, fuck you. Convinced him that he killed Keanu and just kind of started bullying him, which is fun. So they have a fair amount of history, so it's kind of fun to see them fight. It's a shame that the boxing match. Shame the way it goes. And meanwhile, at the Brannings, Amy mentions some family therapy, but they aren't too receptive to the idea. She wants Denise to stay, but Jack just goes and does his paperwork. Denise says Jack wouldn't like family therapy, it isn't his thing. And the main event, the boxing match. We kick it off as Martin lays in some punches into Ben. And, you know, he's dominating the round, but as soon as the bell rings for round one being over, Ben hits him with a sucker punch after the bell. And Ben wins via rigged decision. It's false win, mate. He's cheating.
He's cheated.
He's fucking cheating. It's not on.
Exactly.
Like, Ben was getting fucking destroyed. But, you know what? Phil decided that he wants his son to be good at something for once, even if it's shit. Even if it doesn't mean anything. Because it was rigged. And after this, Ben, instead of celebrating, he just blatantly ignores Kathy and Callum when they try to be like, yeah, you bloody did it, mate, yeah. And he's like, just looks at him weirdly. And outside the venue, we see Lola talk to Callum. She asks how Ben got on, as Callum says he's struggling. But Billy arrives home. They have a big hug, but Lola's terrified because she doesn't know how to tell him that she's not got long left. Meanwhile, Kathy talks to Ben that Lewis shouldn't get under his skin, but Ben believes that it's his fault that he raped someone else. Yeah, the more tragedy of Ben Mitchell. Pretty rough to hear. But Martin and Zach arrive in the pub as Phil also appears. And, oh, shit's about to go down. Zach talks to Ravi, he's upset, and then Ben arrives, and Martin kind of fires off like, you won because you're dad. But Ben starts trying to, like, want to fight Zach. And he starts trying to egg him on, like, you're a coward. You're a little bitch. And Zach's like, mate, why are you putting me down when you won? Like, you need to sort something out. But Ben crosses the line because he says, it's good you never got to be a dad because you would have been useless. And it's like, fuck, man, that's so out of line. That's ridiculous. But Zach says, I don't want to fight you because I've got HIV. I'm HIV positive. Man, like I said, Ben Mitchell's despicable. Dislike the man very much. Used to be my favourite character. Now he's just a massive prick. Duff. Episode 2 commences with the aftermath of Zach's shocking revelation. Ben immediately goes to shake his hand, mostly because obviously after last year, when Ben was raped by Lewis, he had to get tested for HIV, so he kind of, there's that kind of shared experience, really. And Kathy just kind of asks, like, why would you go for him like that? But then we kind of see the shock waves, like, reverberate through the pub. Ravi starts asking their customers, like, what are our customers going to think about when they hear about this? And tells them to take a few days off. But Felix gets angry when it feels like he's sacking him. We then see Ben looking like Billy Maguire. And Callum gets very angry and reminds him that it's time to pick up Lex. And Jack also looks sad as Denise tells Jack, maybe we should get the counselling, but Jack says nothing. He asks if it's for Amy or if it's for us, but then just kind of goes, yeah, it's not the right time, is it, though? And at the Vic, people struggle to deal with the reveal that Zach's got HIV. Felix calls out Harvey and the rest of them for their ignorance. And just kind of puts everyone on blast, saying, like, you're the ones with a problem, not Zach. Like, how hard is it to just look up HIV to know, oh, it's not spread as easily as you think it is, you know? Pretty good. Like I said, Felix hasn't really got to do much since he joined. So it was very nice for him to just actually be a big character, not just Chelsea and Whitney's mate.
Exactly. He's a pretty good character. He has done nothing in the past year.
Yeah, and that's a big shame, really.
Yeah.
Because he definitely, he seems like he has the capability to do it. Like, in these episodes, he's actually, like, doing stuff with, like, he's actually, if he can handle talking about HIV, you know, and actually dealing with it as a serious topic, he could probably deal with a lot of other stuff that you'd be given on the show. So, you know, keep it on, Felix. Nice to see you actually get showcased for once and not just be sidelined.
Yeah.
But yeah, this kind of the episode follows on as Atjay and Lolis are discussing, like, Lexi. But Callum is upset, and Billy shows up, and they've all gone to get McClunkies. Lola's still struggling because she's gonna need to tell Billy that she's not got long left. And yeah, at the Vic, people are drinking and talking about Zach as Alfie publicly defends him. Like I said, the executive producer loves Alfie, so Alfie is the king boy. You know, he's getting all the love. Like, he's getting that good boy points. It's like, Alfie does not like people who talk weird about HIV. Yeah, there you are. Good boy, Alfie.
Exactly.
Have a gold star. And Sharon walks in and she gets a really frosty reception and she just goes, "Oi, you've got a fucking problem. Like, I'll fight you." And then a priest walks in. It is Duncan Boyd, a former love interest of Sharon's.
Ooh.
Like, instead of like properly looking it up, I just thought, did he have hair? Did he have hair back in what, 1999 or something? And I didn't look it up, so we'll never know.
I mean to look it up.
The fidelity of his boldness. No,
What is his name?
Duncan Boyd.
Duncan Boyd.
I mean,
give me 1 second.
Probably had a hair at some point, like most people do.
I believe this is Duncan Boyd. I might be wrong. This is apparently him in 1987. There you go. Hold on. Phone doesn't want to work.
Oh yeah, it was 87, not 99. Bloody hell. Oh, Jesus. He had a full head. He also looks way too old for Sharon at that point. That's like...
Look at him next to Sharon.
That's like... Jesus Christ. Yeah, but Sharon's like 17 at this point. I'm fairly sure. Well. It's, yeah, wild. He did indeed have hair. Sorry, that was a big distraction for nothing, really. Did Duncan Boyd have hair? That's the real headline. Oh yeah, and so the episode continues as Billy arrives back with food and it gives everyone their gift. He feels flush after his work in Portugal and wants to treat them. He does mention them coming over in summer though, but Lola looks pretty upset. He just kind of goes, "Oh no, it's like it's fine because of the money," but like Lola's like, "It might be time." And at the restaurant, we see Rafi cleaning everywhere and chucking away food because of Zach's HIV. And Nugget takes the time to walk in. He goes, "Oh yeah, Zach's got HIV." Nugget goes, "Well, time to pull out the old phone and actually fucking look about what HIV is." And Nugget calls him out saying he's a part of the problem. And Ravi's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, mate." And then Nugget's like, "Yeah, but what for though? Like, which one? Because there's so many lately." Like I said, Nugget's been redeemed. I reckon.
Yeah, I agree.
He's not just a prick. He's not just insert young teen character on EastEnders anymore. He's actually got some depth to him. There's some sadness behind those eyes. Yeah, pretty good, pretty good. I would never have expected for him to have been redeemed, but no, he's turned out pretty good, so. Hopefully, he actually gets in. I want him to get into like a serious relationship with someone, but the main issue is there's no other like young teens in the show. And Lily is still 12, so that, yeah, let's not even go there. And obviously Amy's with Denzel, so unless he suddenly goes, "Hello, Ricky." Wait, no, Ricky's young as well. Yeah, there's not really that many young teens on the square at the minute. I want him to get into a serious well, as serious as like a 14, 15-year-old relationship can be, but you know, actually have some depth. Bring in someone new. And yeah, we also then see Kim and Denise eating. Howie walks in and he's like, "Oh, do you want food?" And he's like, "No." And then Kim's like, "How do I get him back?" And Denise is like, "You fight for it." Once again, Howie. It's been a good 2 weeks at least since Denzel's out of hospital. and he's still stomping around her house, eating her food, like still blaming her for everything. It's kind of funny at this point. Like, Howie, you're right, but mate, you're with Kim. You aren't winning this argument. Like, in terms of the fans, of course. And then at the Browns and Mitchell house, we see Lola tell Billy about cancer. She mentions how it isn't going away, and she fully opens up how the treatment isn't working and that the cancer is too aggressive. Billy doesn't know how to deal with this. He's upset that they didn't call him, and then he asks, like, how long before he, like, storms off struggling to deal with it. I'll be honest, I kind of thought they were going to do this in a slightly different way.
How so?
I thought, like, Lola was going to be, like, bedridden, like, struggling, and, you know, he gets back when it's just a little bit too late, you know, she's like, about to die. They have this, like, big emotional scene where they're both, like, crying. But, yeah, they did it now, which I guess is good, but, like, I was expecting that kind of scene. Like when Pat died, she had Janine and David Wicks, and probably Ricky all, like, sat at her bedside, like a really bittersweet monologue, because, you know, it's too late. We can't make up for the problems now, but, you know, we still love you type deal. I also have no idea when she's gonna die anymore.
Slater has made a prediction.
Hold
on. There you go. Slater has made a prediction.
Yeah, there we are. Slater's the host of Easily Entertained. For anybody who's not in the know.
August.
Yeah, I predicted she was gonna die so many times already. Like,
I swear to God, if Slater is somehow correct that Lola dies the second week of August.
Yeah, that would be mental. Oh.
I think she dies.
When?
9 days from tonight. 9 days from tonight, she dies. An old Tony Khan reference for people who don't know.
Yeah. He's not really the best public speaker, is he?
No, he's doing too much coke to be a public speaker.
Very true. Zach is hurting in the cafe as Felix and Chelsea walk him and, like, talk him down, you know. They express how brave it was for him. And Felix says, you know, as a black queer boy in London, as much as people say they're open-minded, they really aren't. Once again, good scene to showcase Felix and Zach actually being there. Also, somehow, they managed to do this scene without just deciding that Whitney was really, really good for being there for him and, like, fighting the battle. So, you know, once again, giving Whitney some space to not be their favourite tragic character. Good shit, EastEnders.
Yeah, good shit.
And, yeah, so Billy is struggling and isn't really ready to talk to Lola, but she gives her a really big hug. So he and Honey go to the Vic, and Lola breaks down over this. She wants to make sure that Lexi is properly looked after when she's gone, and she's not convinced that Ben will step up. She wants Jay to adopt Lexi. Completely reasonable. An idea. She's not trying to replace Ben as Lexi's dad. She just wants Jay to not be like ruined by law.
I think this. Oh, excuse me, I've drank too much Fanta pineapple. Excuse me. Oh, Jesus. I think this is gonna be a weird storyline, not a weird storyline, but it's gonna show the effects it is to adopt someone and it's your best friend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
because
guess.
you're gonna have.
It's quite. I mean, adopting anyone's quite hard as a whole.
especially in countries where they're like, okay, you have to adopt them by being straight. If you're gay, lesbian, trans, you can't adopt. You're like, what?
But it's
What?
obviously angled in that. Well, how do we know you have a regular like home environment? It's like
Sorry, let me get rid of my strippers I have out in the back with my pole that I swing down of every Friday night before I suck on his cock.
yeah. I don't know if it will be heading that way. I think because obviously Jay's married and to Lola and she has parental rights. Probably won't. And well, as we'll see, Ben will eventually relent and allow it to happen. But yeah, who knows? But it's perfectly reasonable. And then we cut across to Ben, who's brushing Lexi's hair, and she asks him like, "Oh, did you see the video of me dancing?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And Lexi like tries to talk like, "Hey, I know you're sad about Mum, but like we have each other." Lovely stuff. The funniest scene of the week. I know that the context isn't as funny, but Billy like goes to walk into the Vic, and everybody like cheers, and then Billy just goes, "Oh fuck this! I can't handle this." And just walks out.
I love that. I love how he was like so confident. He was strolling in there. Billy, it's the man, the myth, the legend, Billy. And then he's like, oh,
Fuck this! I'm out.
fuck. Fuck this shit.
Can't
I'm
deal with
having.
this right now.
Imagine me just turned around and went, Lola's dying. Don't say
Shut
my
your
name.
fucking mouth.
Lola's dying. He's just is brutally honest. He's like, Lola's dying and you're all here cheering me.
Yeah.
Pathetic little bitches.
Karen on the episode as Duncan and Sharon are catching up, and Keanu realizes that they used to be an item. They mention Den Watts, and Duncan treats Keanu like a boy. Oh yeah. Well, Den was he was a proper. I don't know. I don't remember how he talked about Den. And then he's like, "Oh yeah,
said,
you probably wouldn't know about Den, would you?" Yeah, because he's like 22 years old.
He basically says that like Den was this sweetheart or something. He basically says you died before Den Watts was, or no, you were born before Den Watts died, or you were born after Den Watts died. And I was like, Duncan, only if you knew that Den Watts came back and dressed as Captain Hook. Only if you knew.
Very true. Probably wouldn't have heard that bit. Probably wasn't around. He definitely wasn't around.
Because I would have loved, I understand in the context it wouldn't have made sense, but I would have loved if he just walked up to Sharon, shook her hand and went, I'm sorry that your dad drowned in the canal, and she's awkwardly like, no, that didn't happen.
Sorry, that was his first death.
His second death was when we beat the absolute shit out of him.
Yeah, Chrissy smashed his head.
Yeah, imagine. So he was technically killed by being shot and hit over the head.
Shot?
Yeah, because remember he was shot in the first death.
Oh, yes. All right, got it. Yeah.
Yeah, because imagine awkwardly having to explain that your father didn't die by being shot. Just he did. Yeah, he's not. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, he's not dead.
Yeah,
So yeah,
he came back actually, but that was weird.
I remember the words like it was yesterday. Hello, princess.
Yeah.
How does he talk again? How does Den talk? He's like, hello, princess. No, I can't do it.
It was just very gravelly, like hello, princess. Yeah, kind of bit like a bit older, bit more. Yeah.
Didn't he get his absolute shit beaten out of him then by Phil, like in a scene when Phil only had one arm?
Yeah.
It shows you how useless Den was and how crap the writers wrote him.
Well, no, it was just he's like a 60-year-old man at that point. Like he's not going to have to fight Phil Mitchell, and the only way he actually like sorted out Phil was by like distracting him, So he had to use his brain rather than like brawn type deal.
He wasn't a good fighter then, though. Let's admit that.
But like, he had to be smarter, not harder.
Oh yeah, imagine just say, oh yeah, Dan, you wouldn't know Dan. He died after you were born. No, you're wrong, Duncan. He didn't. You're right, but you're wrong.
I suppose this scene coincides with the christening's arranged next week, and Keanu's like, yeah, I'll pay for it. Why would you agree to something that you can't afford?
Me, when I buy customs that I know I can't afford.
Well, maybe I just am dumb. I'll blame it on the autism. I'm not fucking doing that. Can't afford that shit. I'm not paying for it. Fuck that. Pay for it when I can afford it. But I guess people like want more things than I do. I'm not really a material possessions kind of guy.
A material girl.
Indeed. And Zach, Chelsea, and Felix arrive in the Vic, and the drinks are on the house. Hooray!
Right, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to get diagnosed with HIV and then go off to that pub. Free drink? No problem, mate.
I mean, that was pretty much the joke that Karen made. It got the same reception.
Yeah, I know.
Howie goes to grab a snack, and Kim talks to her. Talks to him finally. She fully apologizes, acknowledging how hard it's been, and he's said it's not easy forgiving you. Then she just kind of goes, "Why don't you leave then?" And he says he loves her, and she promises to not lie to him again. They kiss, and Kim lets out a really wholesome like chuckle, like a giggle out of excitement, like ah. And Duncan leaves, having arranged a christening. It's the next bank holiday, and they arranged for Karen to be there. Ravi then.
Is it a bank holiday for you guys this Monday as well?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. And Ravi arrives to apologize to Zach over his stupidity and offers him his job back. Zach then proceeds to speak to the whole pub, trying to clear the air about their misconceptions. He admits that he used to be ignorant and that now he's facing up to his prejudice, and just like you will, And Mitch offers to buy him a drink as an apology. Then, in the final scenes in today's episode, sees Ben break down to Callum. Callum wants Ben to open up, and Ben says he isn't really coping. He says he isn't coping with everything, and they hug. But then the bell interrupts this lovely moment, as it's Jay and Lola, and they want to talk about them, and they say that they want Jay to adopt Lexi. Ben gets upset and lashes out, think they're going to take Lexi away from him, and he says if they think they can take Lexi away from him, they're going to have a big fight in their hands, as Ben struggles in the hallway. Duff.
Oh, yeah. Pretty interesting episode.
Yeah. It was the HIV scenes are obviously very poignant and very important, so I'm glad that they gave it the necessary spotlight it deserved.
I just want Duncan back for more scenes.
Yeah, he'll be in the one on Monday, and then never again.
Until he dies, and then they have to.
I mean, he's not that old. He's just bald.
No, but when he dies, they'll have to bring him back, like they did for Don.
They won't. He's not that important. Come on. Episode 3 commences with Ben yelling at Lexi. He's still reeling and dealing with the Jay adoption news. He snaps at Callum, saying he doesn't need advice from him about how to be a dad. Great relationship you got there, Ben. Screaming at your partner when he's trying to be reasonable. Nah, fuck you. We'll get into it a little bit later. Ricky, Denzel, Nugget, and Amy are walking through the square and catching up. Denzel is happy that Kim and Howie are talking, but is still upset at the divide between Jack and Denise. Nugget apologizes to Amy for lashing out, but they're alright. And Chelsea tries to catch up with Amy and suggests they get food later. Nugget wants to come, but Chelsea's not really feeling it because of, you know, the issues with Ravi. Oh. And then Ben goes into the cafe, yells at everyone, and refuses to discuss the possibility of Jay adopting Lexi. He threatens to legally block the adoption as Kathy tries to comfort Lola. Oh. And Zach walks through the square as everyone is staring at him like he's a freak. Whit yells at him for not waking her up as she wanted to be there to support him. But Mitch and Harvey sharpen, apologise for being ignorant as Keanu shows up. And obviously Keanu's struggling, wants to raise the funds, and he says he wants to graft for his family. And Richie's back, their lawyer, who just shows up from time to time. Big love, Richie. I'm glad that she just keeps coming back. And she's informing Ben of his rights in terms of adoption. She says they may want an agreement where Ben and Jay share parental responsibility, but Kathy comes in to be the conscience, reminding them that Lola shouldn't be dealing with this, as well as, you know, dying. I should have a custody battle as I'm dying sound. Cheers. Smart move, guys. And Kathy wants Ben to go with her for a drink. Denise talks with Chelsea. Denise is reminded of her actions and the effects it's having on Ricky and Amy, and is reminded that her and Chelsea are, well, they're not really on good terms either. Ben arrives in the pub with Kathy as he's given egg and chips as a pub lunch. She wants to genuinely make sure that Ben is thinking about it, and she reminds him that even though he's Lexi's dad, he doesn't always act decently in bad situations. Ben has been struggling to comprehend Lola dying, as well as the news of Lewis's arrest. And when Lola and Jay arrive, he feels like he's been set up. Instead of actually ranting about Ben Mitchell, I'll simply point to the bonus video that will be out on the channel this week, as I had a pretty much 11-minute rant about why this Ben Mitchell is a fucking awful character. And I really dislike him and want to see him not be Ben Mitchell anymore. Just change his name and act like he's not a Mitchell, please.
Yeah, I've got nothing to add.
Yeah, he's just such a prick to everyone. It's like, why are you being such a prick to them? They're your family. I get it. You're allowed to yell at your family. You know, they'll get past it. But like, come on, yell at fucking Zach again. Just don't yell at people you're supposed to care for. You prick. Keanu heads to Becky's to ask Phil if he has any work. Keanu implies, you know, maybe some criminal stuff, but Phil sets him straight and he's like, yeah, nah, I'm by the books now, mate. And then says, well, you're a bit of a liability in that life anyway, so. Phil will always find a way to call out Keanu for being shit. Chelsea tries to get through to Jack over family therapy. She acknowledges that Amy and Ricky are willing to go to counselling, but he gets upset when she calls him out for not doing this, and then notes how she's taken Ricky and Amy to McClunky's after school, and that he should show his face. Stubborn Jack. Kathy comes to Phil admitting that she's worried about Ben. Phil thinks that Lewis getting arrested should be a relief, but she tells him about the anger and the pain that comes with being assaulted. Like, that never leaves. It's always there. And she tells Phil that she isn't sure whether Ben could genuinely take care of Lexi when Lola's gone. And she implores Phil to have a serious conversation with Ben because he's the only one he listens to. And Jay arrives in the cafe to talk to Ben, and Ben says it's not about you, Jay, because you know he respects and loves him. Jay mentions how like they could have been having a 2-year-old right now, but talks about how he's kind of always the outsider. And Jay kind of goes, "Listen, alright, I don't want to replace you, but I want to like legally be a part of Lexi's life." And then he reminds him how important it is that they work together now more than ever. Once again, good scene. They remembered that Ben and Jay are actually close and have a good relationship. Not like first 2 years that The first 2 years he came back where Ben and Jay barely interacted. I was like, come on, lads, they're supposed to be brothers, like. Keanu and Zach talk about their financial issues, and it leads to Keanu learning that Ravi's in some criminal stuff. I'm not ready for Keanu to get arrested. Because it's happening. It's too much of a melt. Like, God, I'm ready for it. At McClunky's, Amy and Ricky are having a decent time with Chelsea just as Jack arrives. Tries to talk with them and opens up saying, hey, listen, alright, I'm fine with doing family therapy. In the cafe, Ben is rejecting refills from Bernie as Phil comes in to talk with Ben about the situation. Phil tells him how dragging stuff through the courts isn't the way, as well as the point that, hey, there's worse co-parents to have than your brother, you know, like, not by blood, but by, like, just the amount of stuff they've been through together. And he seems to listen. Yeah, and at Walford East, Keanu throws his hat into the ring over some criminal stuff. Ravi gives him a delivery job, and I just wrote in the notes, he's gonna fuck it up proper. Very true. At Lola's, Ben arrives and seems willing to talk. Ben admits that he thought it was because they didn't trust him. He was terrified that he's going to be replaced, and Ben admits he isn't going to stand in their way. Yay!
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Chelsea reports that Jack is willing to do family therapy with Denise and the kids. When asked if she wants to stop for a drink, she leaves, acknowledging that she hasn't forgiven her mum yet. And Callum and Kathy in the final scenes of the episode discussing Ben and wondering whether Ben will make the right decision. As Ben apologizes to Callum for being horrible to deal with, as Kathy gets excited to talk about the wedding. He says everything is under control now, as we pan to the bathroom stall, and it seems like Ben has been making himself throw up, now entering an eating disorder storyline. Duff duff.
Why? Why is Ben throwing himself over? Jesus fucking Christ.
It makes sense as to how much he's dealing with and how much he wants to control, but it would just be nice for it to not be Ben Mitchell. As Ben Mitchell has done. Ben Mitchell's been the favourite storyline, like, he's been the writer's favourite character for the last 4 years now. And just give him a bit of a break, please. We kick off the final episode of the week with the Brannings. Jack is uncertain and looking at their family photo. Amy is holding her mum chain, and Ricky is looking at the baby scan picture. And across the square, Kim is laughing at Denise with his family therapy. She doesn't think Denise will handle her relationship being combed through by a stranger. It's not for everyone, is it?
Do me a favour. It's not what she says.
Oh yeah. Them's the line. Ugh. And at the cafe, Bernie is asked to be Albie's godmother by Keanu and Sharon. Bernie accepts as Keanu is reminded that he'll need to pay up. And outside, he shares this weird standoff and nod with Rafi. Like, it's the most awkward thing I've seen in my life.
Alright, me. Nod.
Callum wants Ben to accept Lola's phone calls, but then realises that he didn't eat his breakfast yesterday. Like I said, continuing the eating disorder storyline. And during Keanu's delivery, a detective arrives and starts inquiring about what's in the boxes, as Keanu looks guilty as sin. And the copper puts on the frighteners onto Keanu and tries to warn him off. Keanu kind of just goes, listen, alright mate, just... He holds the line, right? He pulls it off. Denise wants to go through like what they're going to talk about in the therapy before the actual therapy, but they're worried because Amy hasn't been seen anywhere. Chelsea questions whether like Keanu's seen Amy, but also Ravi appears, and then Keanu warns Ravi that hey, the place might actually get raided, mate. And Chelsea finds a erratic and clearly anxious Amy near the jeweller's. She tried to get the necklace fixed and knew that time was just trucking on by, but Chelsea gives her a big old hug. During the shifting the delivery, Keanu's asking countless questions about what the work is as the copper arrives from earlier. Turns out that this is Christos, who has a two-man job at this afternoon. Well, can we just take a moment to mourn the death of Talking Walford's theorising as to who George Knight is going to be, because he suggested that George Knight was going to be Christos. But unfortunately, we have seen Christos now, so we'll never know.
R.I.P. Rest in peace, Bozo.
I mean, he could still be involved in some way, just not as Christos. And Sharon wants Zach to be Albie's godfather, but he flakes out and gets worried if he can, because, you know, he's like, in the last 6 months, so much has changed. How can he know that he won't just get up and leave? And at the councillors, as everyone looks like they're about to be, everyone looks as if they're about to be grilled. No one wants to talk and no one wants to be honest. Amy decides to take the chance and tell her about the snog that broke up the family. Jay and Lola grill Ben about him not responding to calls as they realise something is wrong with him again. Denise is yelling about her infidelity when Ricky and Jack both chime in. Amy is stressed that she's to blame, and they say that it's issues as a couple need to work through or fall apart. Ricky then chimes up saying this wouldn't happen, Amy didn't cut herself. Oh, Jesus, don't fucking pull your punches, Ricky. Like, man alive, that's... if I ever said that, I'd be fucking sprinting away. Like, Jesus Christ. That's not something to put on someone who's already anxious and self-harming. Fuck. Whitney and Sharon try to get Zach to open up. He mentions how he can't tell if he'll run out again. And Sharon likens Zach to Keanu, how they both got a good heart. Zach agrees and is going to be Albie's godfather. Amy then chimes back saying, how about you sneaking off to get Lily Slater pregnant? Didn't work, did it? How about that, you dick? Jack then starts shouting, and then Amy shouts at him for shouting. And Ricky has been carrying the time that Amy self-harmed so bad she needed to be taken away from an ambulance when she walked in after she'd cut too deep, just kind of like, I don't know what to do. You know, that clearly took a big toll, like, on his mental health. He mentions that he was angry at her for doing it, but was also angry that they were on their own. Amy apologizes to Ricky, and then Jack apologizes, but this starts Amy off as they've both got serious abandonment issues. She believes that Jack pushes everyone away. And Amy believes that there is no one looking out for her. Oh, yeah. Like I said, nobody's pulling punches in this counseling session. Good fucking Lord. Like, that just... Oh, fuck. It's some great scenes. In the Vic, Ben tries to apologize to Zach, but Zach just goes, I've got good things in my life. I don't need you, you pathetic little bitch. And then probably the main scene of the week, probably the best scene of the year. As Amy is asked if her mum was right here, right now, like, what would she say to her? And she starts asking some really sad questions like, did you ever really love me? Oh, and then we see Roxy Mitchell again. It's ashamedly a one-off, but bring her back. Roxy presses against the necklace and says she's right there. But Amy wonders why she had to drink and do drugs. Roxy says she tried to fight hard for her, but Amy says it wasn't enough. Amy said she didn't know what to do when the boys at school started teasing her, started touching her. But then, you know, Roxy tries to go like, yeah, but think of all the memories we had, you know. Just remember those. Remember about the poem they wrote about Henry VIII. Yeah, sure. I don't know if it's that poignant, but that seems like a token memory that you'll never forget. And Roxy reminds her that the memories were always there. And Amy is scared that she's going to forget. And Roxy gets her to breathe and reminds her that she doesn't need to hurt herself. And she tells her to never give up. And Amy takes the words, don't give up. And she's back into reality. Oh. like I said, probably the scene of the year for me so far. You bring back Roxy Mitchell in a very important scene to Amy's development, and it was like she was never gone. Like, she perfectly played the role, and the moral is, bring her back, lads. Come on, just do it. It doesn't matter if you're gonna retcon it. It's fucking it's Roxy Mitchell, mate. People would bring back much shitter characters to, like, I would sacrifice multiple characters to bring back Roxy Mitchell. Yeah. What did you think of the scenes, Piggy?
I loved it. I just wanted you firstly to get your opinions across. I loved it. I haven't been talking much in this podcast because I've just been off of the fairies because I watched the draft. But yeah, there's not much I can say. It was a pretty good. It's a pretty good introduction if they want to bring back Roxy. Which, go ahead, lads.
Yeah,
If
just
you
do
can
it.
bring back, you can bring back Den after he murdered someone in real life and then masqueraded as Captain Hawk. And obviously you can bring back Roxy
And
or
Ronnie.
Roxy and Ronnie,
Bring them both back.
who did nothing, unlike Leslie Grantham, who shitted on his co-workers.
Yeah.
Whenever I
Oh.
get to bring up the fact that Leslie Grantham did shit stuff, it'll always be a great day.
Yeah,
Because what's he gonna do? Come back from the grave and sue us? You're fucking dead, mate. You'll be staying dead.
I have nothing to say to that, to be honest. So we get back to the scenes as Denise tells her that we're never going to give up and we're never going to abandon you. Oh, yeah, like I said, these are some pretty poignant scenes, and hopefully it's a big step for Amy and her mental health. But it's hard to tell how it will go because, like how most of us struggle with mental health, it fucking fluctuates. But yeah. I suppose just to get through the final scenes of the episode, Ravi and Keanu are talking about Keanu's history, going for Sharon, dating to Mitch, the woman, until they bump into each other and a bag of weed falls out. Keanu gets upset, saying, I don't deal with drugs, Ravi. I don't deal with them. And Ravi says he doesn't either, but just get the job done. Just sort it. Fucking Keanu, you melt. At Jay and Lola's, Ben makes a big deal out of eating, which is just probably important to note because, yeah. It'll be, we'll make a big deal out of eating, but likely throw it up or just not really engage with it. The Brownings get back from counselling and they mention how after a couple more sessions they can move forward. Denise notes that the kids need each other and Denise says, I need you, but Jack is still hurting. And Ravi meets with Christos again and gets upset over the drugs. Ravi says he needs the money if he's shifting the drugs, but Christos reminds him to wind Keanu's neck. And Sharon tells Keanu how it was a great idea, for the christening, and reminds him that the money needs paying. And he says to Ravi that he wants the money for the day, but then he's out. And Ravi gives him a roll of money and tells him there's a job on Monday and to think about it. As Keanu contemplates more criminal activity, he stares at the cash. Duff. Alright, so that was episode 17 of Watching Walford. It's not been as good as, the second week of February, or April, second week of April, when the affair was revealed, but obviously the scenes where they're going through the counselling and Roxy comes back, probably some of the best EastEnders work they've done in a while, so I'll give that all the credit. How do you find this week for EastEnders, Piggy?
It was a pretty good week. Not much to add. It was a pretty good week. Bringing back Roxy was the main focal point.
Yes.
They probably won't bring her back for years to come. They'll probably do again like what they did for Leslie Grantham, where they'll keep waiting and waiting until it's too late, and then they'll be like, "Yeah, your return didn't go down well," and then they're like, "Yeah, because you brought us back 10 years too late, mate."
I just hope that enough like stirs caused about it, that they actually start considering like, maybe we should just bring them back. Because EastEnders during the 2010s killed off so many good characters that could have been really good now. Like, oh, imagine if Michael Moon comes back, you know. It was obviously Janine's husband. They had Scarlett together. Imagine if he was around. Derek Branning, imagine if he had the capacity, he would bring a bit of an edge to Jack and even Max. Even Abby Branning, the fact that she's still dead, despite her being the more interesting Branning's like daughter, when Lauren's just a bit shit. So it was kind of. I'm not saying it's time to bring back a bunch of characters, but if you can bring back any two characters, I'd bring back Ronnie and Roxy. So, let's do the awards. All right, so I feel like obviously underrated probably isn't going to be underrated. Just all of the positive awards gonna go to Roxy Mitchell, of course. It's the one time we're probably going to be able to say it on Watching Walford at any time, because she's probably not being brought back, even if people really did enjoy the episodes. That's the underrated, but very, very happily rated and fantastic and good stuff.
Let's get into it, shall we?
Yeah, that's my underrated, I guess.
Your underrated character.
Yeah, it's all Roxy Mitchell.
Mine is Roxy Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, come on. who wouldn't take it? I suppose Steve Blackman Award, for anybody who's not on the know, that's the most wooden character of the week. Well, what do you say? I've got two answers.
I'm just gonna give it to Roxy Mitchell again.
What wooden?
I'm giving her all the awards.
Yeah, but two of the awards are bad.
Yeah, that's the point. She needs all the awards.
Well, you can have that. I'm gonna go for Harvey's back because it's stiff as a board. See?
Yeah.
And the final award, the slapping down. Who needs slapping down?
The writers.
The writers for killing off Roxy Mitchell. And also the writers for deciding to give Ben another tragic storyline, despite the fact that this is like his 7th tragic storyline this week. I will try to dial it back in the future, but fuck me, as I'm tired of Ben Mitchell right now.
I'm old, I'm hurt, and I'm fucking tired. I work with children.
But yeah,
I fucking watch children. No, that sounds even worse. Never mind.
yeah, that's not good. Who needs? Did you actually give a name for slapping down, or is it still going?
The writers.
Oh yeah. All right. There we are. Fully in the loop. It's been a long set of recordings today. There's multiple bonus videos recorded, and this is the podcast coming to a close.
Because
thank you.
we were in a bit of a rush. We record 4 videos, so either lump it or go fuck yourself. because I'm not going to deal with this shit. Even though I don't look at the comments, I just check the emails to see that we got comments, and it's from fucking porn bots. Oh, check me out. Horny milfs in your area. I'm like, you can fuck off, mate.
Yeah. To be fair, there was a fun comment last week. There's a comment which was in, I believe it's Spanish, and I think the comment was something like, essentially like, why is there fucking audio? It's like, this would be great without the audio, which did buckle me. Like, banger comment right there. I'm sorry, the podcast has our voices to it and not actually EastEnders episodes. Was very funny. I appreciate that comment. But yeah, this has been episode 17 of Watching Walford. If you like the show, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the videos, comment on the videos. If you say anything interesting enough, maybe a video will be made about it in the future. Likewise, still looking towards making some more video essay type content on the channel when I get the motivation. Right now, it's been a bit of a slump. I'm doing alright mentally, but just like productivity wise, I've just not been feeling like doing much. And yeah, make sure to post more comments like, please no voices. Please stop talk, podcasters. We have been watching Walford. I have been Ash, and I've been joined by Piggy.
I've been Piggy from Piggy's Basement, so yeah.
Yeah, thanks for watching the show. Check it out on Spotify and wherever else we're on podcast platforms. I don't remember where at this point. I just know that I forgot to upload it on time last week, but nobody does it anyways, so thank you. Join us next week on Watching Walford, and make sure to watch all of the bonus content in between. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.